Mr. Lime isn't in right now. He'll be here in about an hour. Coming. Yes? Yes, Mr. Lime will be in Paris for 3 more days. Very well, I'll tell him. Yes, yes, what is it? What do you...
Harry Lime.
Get me a doctor. Quickly, something terrible has happened.
No identification. Cover him, Olivier. A most uncooperative corpse, and, I may add, a most uncooperative witness.
I have told you everything I know, Inspector. Perhaps Mr. Lime can identify him.
And where is Monsieur Lime?
Right here. What happened?
Oh, Mr. Lime, I was on the telephone.
A little case of murder.
Here?
Here. I'm Police Inspector Boucher. I have heard a good deal about you, Monsieur Lime.
Who is he?
He? How do you know it is a man?
Statistical probability, just a shot in the dark.
He was stabbed in broad daylight, monsieur. In the back, right through the heart. Here in your room.
No, I told you he was dying when I opened the door.
That is your version, monsieur. Look at him. Do you recognize him?
No, I've never seen him before.
He came to you, Monsieur Lime.
A lot of people I don't know come to see me.
They don't all get murdered, do they?
Fortunately, the majority survive.
Emportez-le. Monsieur Lime, you and Monsieur Webster will not leave Paris without notifying my department.
I don't take orders from the French police, Inspector. Mr. Webster and I will leave as soon as our business is finished.
This is your business, monsieur.
It is not, and you know it. I never saw that man before in my life. I'm not being uncooperative, Inspector. I simply refuse to be treated like a criminal.
Oh, not a criminal, Monsieur Lime. Just a witness. Maybe. Hmm? Monsieur. Messieurs.
Really, Brad, I can't leave you alone for a minute, can I?
Oh, Mr. Lime.
You shouldn't have done it.
Very funny, sir.
No, it isn't, is it? Tell me exactly what happened.
I was on the phone talking to a Mr. Jean Leclerc, who, by the way, wants you to call him at your earliest convenience.
Never mind. Somebody rang the bell or knocked. You opened the door.
A man came in, almost fell in. He said, Harry Lime. He held a slip of paper in his hand.
Slip of paper?
I put it in my pocket. A check for $100,000 made out to you.
You didn't tell the inspector about this?
Mr. Lime.
Brad, do you know what it means to withhold evidence?
I am the treasurer of Harry Lime Incorporated. The moment I accepted that check, it became the property of the company. Under our Articles of Incorporation, I am authorized to receive money, but I am not authorized to disperse it.
Brilliant, Brad. Only one flaw, which is that murder takes precedence over our Articles of Incorporation.
All right, you turn it over to the police.
No, I don't think I will. Not yet.
Why not? I thought you...
I don't want you to go to jail. You're too valuable a man, Brad.
Please come in. I'm very pleased to meet you, Monsieur Lime.
Thank you, Monsieur Leblanc. Mr. Webster, the treasurer of my company.
Enchanté, monsieur.
How do you do?
Please sit down. I'm very happy to have the opportunity to make your acquaintance, Monsieur Lime. You have never been working with our bank.
Monsieur Leblanc, I came to see you because of a check I received.
Oh, yes, a check. You wish to deposit it, to open an account.
Mr. Lime wishes to cash it.
Oh, but I'm desolated, Monsieur Lime. We're unable to honor this check. Payment has been stopped.
Why?
I regret I'm not at liberty to say.
Well, could you give me the name of your client?
But this check has been signed, Monsieur Lime. Certainly you know the name of a person who gives you a check for $100,000.
Well, suppose I don't.
I regret I'm not at liberty to say.
The signature is illegible.
I'm sorry, monsieur. I'm not at liberty to say.
But you are at liberty to return the check.
Oh, but of course, please forgive me.
Thank you.
I'm so sorry, Monsieur Lime, that our first business meeting was so unsatisfactory.
I understand. Thank you very much, Monsieur Leblanc. Good day.
Good day. Oh, please forgive me. Now that I think of it, a client of ours left this card with me. You might be interested. There are always new dances there. A gentleman like you must be ahead of the rest.
Thank you very much, Monsieur Leblanc.
It is the best dance studio in Paris. Au revoir, monsieur.
A bank manager touting for a dance hall. No, the French, the French.
I think I'll go and enroll, Brad.
Mr. Lime, the last thing in the world you need is dancing lessons.
And Brad, the ladies may not think I need them, but I may not think I need them. But when a bank with $340 million capital thinks I need them, I need them. My name is Harry Lime. Is this the place?
Ah, bien sûr, Monsieur Lime. We've been expecting you. Here's your student card.
Thank you, madame. You're very kind.
Mademoiselle? Oh, mademoiselle. You will be envied, Monsieur Lime. Mademoiselle Renée will instruct you herself. Monsieur Lime. I'm delighted to see you.
Mademoiselle.
Shall we go in? The gentleman will be through in a moment. You know, of course, what is a basic rumba?
I'm not here to dance.
Shall we try
First,
it?
I'd like to ask some questions.
Oh, no, monsieur. No questions, please. Just let yourself go. Relax.
Well, I really think that...
Oh, no, thinking either. Not with the head. Dancing is the poetry of feet, legs, and hips. That's right. Now, hold the torso rigid, monsieur.
From the waist up dignified, from the waist down relaxed.
Oh, monsieur understands the spirit of the dance very well indeed. You have my check, no?
You canceled it.
After what happened, I could not be sure you had received it. That is why I called the bank. If you are still interested...
You doubt it?
In $100,000.
Always.
Excuse me. C'est tout pour aujourd'hui, Monsieur Bousson. Et Lily, voulez-vous vous reposer maintenant? Shall we go in where we can sit down? Please, Monsieur Lime.
Thank you.
Of course, you do not know why you are here.
Not to take dancing lessons?
The man who died in your hotel room.
The German chemist.
You know him?
I was trying to impress you, plain detective. I saw the dueling scars on his face. The kind of scars you get as a member of a fraternity at German universities. The discolored fingers.
You're right, of course. His name was Professor Gerhard Auer.
Auer. He was one of Hitler's leading chemists, wasn't he?
Yes. It was I who sent him to his death.
Who killed Professor Auer?
A man called Bruno Wunderlich.
Why?
He wanted to prevent Auer from talking to you. 2 days ago, Wunderlich stole an important document from him. That was what Auer came to see you about.
Were you told the police?
No. I was afraid if Wunderlich were arrested, you would never be able to get the document back.
The check made out to me.
$100,000. If you recover the document.
Whose 100,000? Not yours, surely.
I regret. I am not at liberty to...
Nobody seems to be at liberty to tell me anything. Well, I'm not at liberty to take this check or to accept the assignment. I'm sorry.
Monsieur Lime, please don't go. I will tell you all I possibly can. Then you decide. This stolen document is a formula for a new missile and rocket fuel the professor was working on during the last months of the war. As you know, he was then working for the Germans, but he kept silent about his discovery. He hated the regime. He hated war. Bruno Wunderlich was put in Auer's laboratory by the Gestapo. The Nazis suspected Auer. But before they could act, the war was over and Auer had disappeared. Wunderlich began his search for Auer. It looked hopeless at first, but he never gave up. Then, after many years, he found him again, here in Paris. About 2 weeks ago. Monsieur Lime, if you are looking for a hidden microphone in this room, there is none.
I was wondering what happened to the picture.
What picture?
Well, the one that was hanging here until recently. I'm afraid I'm still playing detective, still trying to impress you.
I am impressed. Have you been listening to me?
Yes, teacher. Mr. Wunderlich found Professor Auer, stole the document, and then?
He offered the formula for sale to the ambassador of a foreign country here in Paris. A country hostile to the West. We learned about it.
We?
We. Yes,
But you're not at liberty to.
that is right.
Go on.
Something had to be done quickly. Then, accidentally, we read about your arrival in Paris. We decided that Harry Lime was the man who could help us. We sent Auer to you, to his death.
How long have I got to recover the document?
An expert will arrive at the embassy tonight to inspect the formula. If he approves, the sale will go through. Entrez.
Ah, pardon, mademoiselle, je regrette, mais il y a un monsieur qui insiste de vous parler en personne.
Excuse me. Oui, monsieur?
Mademoiselle Renée Lafarge.
Qu'est-ce que je peux faire pour vous?
Je m'excuse de vous déranger, mademoiselle. Je crois savoir qu'il y a parmi vos élèves un monsieur Harry Lime.
Inspector Boucher. What a delightful surprise.
Monsieur Lime.
The French have the right idea, as always, teaching the police how to dance. I'm so sorry I have to leave. I would have loved to stay and see you trying the cha-cha. Thank you again, mademoiselle. I enjoyed my first lesson very much. Monsieur?
Who is it?
What the devil?
Oh, it's you. Just a moment. Just a moment, Mr. Lime.
What are you doing, waiting for your next victim?
Please don't joke about this, Mr. Lime. I'm scared.
Good for you, Brad. People who are scared live much longer than heroes. What does one wear when one goes to see an ambassador?
Cutaway and striped trousers, I've been told.
Told by whom?
By a lady who used to order the books of the Iranian embassy in London.
Tell me more about your love life, Brad.
The lady has 3 children, Mr. Lime. Really, Brad. Mr. Jean Leclerc called again.
John Leclerc, you mentioned him this morning.
Yes, he phoned just
I knew
before...
him years ago. He used to be a pickpocket then, I think.
A what?
Did he leave his phone number?
It's on the pad, sir.
He might be just the man I need. I'll call him when I get back from the embassy.
Mr. Harry Lime to see you, Your Excellency.
I cannot see Mr. Harry Lime. I'm sorry. You know I never see anyone without an appointment. My calendar is full this week.
If Your Excellency will excuse me, I have never met the man, but I have heard time and time again, one must not refuse to see Harry Lime.
Very well, bring him in.
Lime? Coronel de Cordoba, military attaché.
How do you do?
His Excellency, the Ambassador. Mr. Harry Lime, Your Excellency.
Your Excellency.
A pleasure. Please, won't you be seated? In what way can I be of service to you, Mr. Lime?
You might tell me how much your country is willing to pay Mr. Wunderlich for the formula he stole from Professor Auer.
I beg your pardon. I'm afraid I don't understand what you're talking about.
Well, I'm sorry. I must have been misinformed. Oh, but if you should know anyone who's interested in buying a formula from Mr. Wunderlich, you might tell them that before he died in my hotel room, Professor Auer told me that the formula Wunderlich stole from him was scientific gibberish, planted for just such an eventuality. The real formula is in my possession. I took it from Professor Auer's pocket just before the police arrived. Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Mr. Lime, you must forgive our reluctance to discuss such a confidential matter. Please, sit down, Mr. Lime.
I am not saying that any of this is true, but if it should be, would you be willing to sell the formula to us?
Well, I might consider it for a price.
Well, as it happens, my government is sending a physicist by the name of Dr.
Romay.
He will arrive at Le Bourget this evening on the 8:30 flight and will be brought directly here to examine a certain formula.
Could you be here too, say at 9:30?
And $300,000 in cash will be here, so will I.
300,000!
In cash. Till this evening, gentlemen. Have you been able to find out what Dr. Romay looks like?
No. His work has never been publicized.
And even your secret informant doesn't know.
Whom are you talking about?
I wish you'd tell me. You think we're safe, then?
I'm reasonably sure. There is no guarantee.
Our friends are setting up the tape recorder. Renee, my associate, Mr. Bradford Webster.
How do you do?
My old friend, Jean Leclerc.
Enchanté.
He's a specialist in certain fields.
We're all set, Mr. Lime.
All right, Renee.
Yes?
This is Aviation Internationale at Le Bourget. You're expecting to meet a passenger on flight 68 arriving at 8:30?
Yes, we are.
I regret to inform you that flight 68 will be 45 minutes late.
Thank you.
Merci, monsieur.
Dr. Romay's plane will be 45 minutes late, Your Excellency.
Dr. Romay, please report to Aviación Internacional. Dr. Romay, please report to Aviación Internacional.
Pardon, monsieur. Dr. Romay.
Yes?
Welcome, monsieur. We are from the embassy. We are glad to have you here.
Thank you.
Might I introduce Mademoiselle Dupré?
How do you do?
The ambassador would like for you to come to his country villa instead of the embassy.
Fine.
Mademoiselle will accompany you.
It will be a delight, mademoiselle.
The car is waiting outside, Dr. Romay.
Dr. Romay will be here any minute.
But I still don't know what Mr. Lime is doing here.
I hope for your sake you will never know, Herr Wunderlich.
Dr.
Dr. Romay, Your Excellency.
A pleasure. Pleasure to see you, Doctor.
Your Excellency.
Mr. Lime and Mr. Wunderlich. Dr. Romay.
Doctor?
How do you do?
Gentlemen, my identification passport.
Thank you, Dr. Romay. Shall we get down to business? The formula, Herr Wunderlich.
Certainly.
We would like your evaluation of this formula, Doctor.
Of course. If you'll give me a moment. You actually intended to buy this, gentleman?
What do you mean?
I mean it is pure, unadulterated scientific nonsense. No! What
What have you done? What have you done? But this man is a fraud. I'm a chemist. That was the formula.
Get out.
But you have got to listen to me.
Get out!
But... Unglaublich.
So now we must deal with Mr. Lime, must we?
Your formula, Mr. Lime?
The $300,000, Your Excellency?
You are under arrest, Monsieur Wunderlich, for the murder of Professor Auer. Allez.
I wonder who tipped them off.
Here is your money, Mr. Lime. It is all there, I assure you.
It's very clever, gentlemen, but not clever enough. Genuine bills on the outside, counterfeits on the inside.
Counterfeit? Impossible. These came straight from the bank.
I'm deeply shocked, Your Excellency. So shocked that I can't possibly consider doing business with you.
But, Mr. Lime...
Good evening, gentlemen.
But, Mr. Lime, no, please, I assure you, we...
I'm afraid this is my last lesson. I'm flying back late tonight.
I'm truly sorry. You did a marvelous job.
Yeah, so did my friend Jean Leclerc. What he tore up was a blank sheet of paper. The real formula's in my wallet.
What are you going to do with it?
I'm taking it back to Washington. We could still have supper, though, if your friend doesn't mind.
My friend?
The man who put up the money, who tipped off the police about Wunderlich, the man who gave you all the information, the man whose picture you so tactfully removed. I wish we had a friend like him in every scheming embassy of the world. He's quite a man.
So are you?